Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel. Another video for the fans. So this is week 2, day 3. So this is a pressing session today. So just starting off with the ball jumps. Last week I went up to 64 inches, just over 5 feet. So yeah, this is all still quite easy for me at the moment. I'm just working on just gradually trying to go further and further each week. I think my best is 7 feet 5 inches, so be looking forward to beating that in a couple of blocks. So this is the last one, 5'9", and yeah, still fairly comfortable, so I'll be going over 6 foot next time. So if you've been following my videos, you'll probably know that I did kind of like tweak my left elbow, and I have had some pain with it. Now for log it was alright, but for axle it just aggravates it. So now you'll notice that I've put my elbow sleeves on there just to try and negate the pain a little bit. So this is week 2, so second week of doing these axles, and last week I did 100 kilos or 220 pounds for 20 sets of one, every minute on the minute for 20 minutes work. So this week I'm increasing the load, but this time I'm doing 12 sets, but I'm doing every 90 seconds, so it's 18 minutes of work altogether. So this is the last warm-up. I generally like to do about 4 warm-ups. The 95, 209 pound didn't feel too great, and I was going to repeat that, but I did this, and that was much better, except for that step back, of course. But that actually felt better at 231 pounds than the 209 did, so that was fine. I didn't really want to be doing too many warm-ups because obviously I've got 12 sets to do on this, so I didn't want to fatigue myself too much. So this is the main program now. 112.5 kilos or 248 pounds for 12 sets every 90 seconds. So this takes 18 minutes to do because it's 12 sets every 90 seconds. So it's a little bit easier than EMOM because with every minute on the minute, obviously you go every minute, but with this I'm going every 90 seconds, so it's 30 seconds extra rest, and it does kind of make a little bit of a difference. So yeah, this actually wasn't too bad actually. So I've increased by 12.5 kilos on the previous week, because 100 kilos did feel really easy, to be honest. So increasing the load here. So this is specific repeatability, and this is one of the things I like about EMOM training, every 90 seconds and every other minute training. It's a good way to get in to practice lots of heavy singles, and the key to this, as I've said before, is you want to use a weight that's challenging but not a max weight. It needs to be a weight that's heavy enough that you have to think about what you're doing, because if the weight is too light, then obviously technique, it's easy to keep good technique when the weight is light, but when the weight's heavy, obviously if my technique isn't good, I'm going to know where I'm going wrong. So I have to make sure that everything is perfect, make sure that the clean is perfect, the press, make sure I get my head back, make sure that my knees go out. That's the way I like to do it, and I'm quite good at the clean, and one of the keys to this is to try to do every rep perfectly, so I try not to move my feet where I can. For most of these I did do it quite perfectly. So this is set number 6 now, so we're halfway there, and yeah, my feet did move forward a little bit there. That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to do every rep the same, trying to do every rep perfect, really trying to hone my technique, really trying to keep all reps the same if I can, and try to make the reps crisp and move speedily, and with good form, and try and keep the same form with every rep. So I switch hands there, and there we are, perfect rep, number 7, perfect rep. That is exactly what I'm looking for, where I can press it overhead with perfect form and my feet do not move at all. So set number 8, 2/3 of the way here now. And yeah, all of this felt really comfortable. There wasn't a single rep that I really struggled with, really. So I'm really happy with that. The session was really good today. Yep, feet did move a little bit forward there, so another not perfect rep. But like I say, this is why I like these heavy singles. I can just keep doing it. Um, Not really a fan of doing reps, especially on axle. Especially lots of reps. If you're going to do reps, that's fine, but I'd only do like 2 or 3. You don't really want to be doing 10, because if you're doing 10 reps, if you're doing high reps on overhead, you're not really thinking about your skill. You're just thinking about getting through it, and that's not good, really. This is skill work. What I'm doing here, this is skill work, because strength is a skill, and I'm trying to build the skill of lifting heavy weight overhead. Overhead is one of my fortes, and I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to get really good at overhead. If you watch Sadrunas Savickas lift overhead, you'll notice most of the time his feet does not move. Feet move slightly there, but on the whole, it did feel comfortable. It did go up easily. So you can probably see in the mirror, I'm sitting there resting, having my bananas and Lucozade. I like to get my carbs in while I'm doing things like this. And because I do strongman training, I always prioritise overhead. So if you're a powerlifter, maybe you do bench press, but because I do strongman, that's another rep. Because I do strongman, I always do overhead first, then I do bench press afterwards, or incline or close grip. Bench press is more of like an assistance to me. So I do it, but overhead comes first, because in a competition that's what I'm going to have, not a bench press. I do strongman, so you're not going to have bench press in a strongman comp. There we are, number 12, perfect rep, excellent. That was quite easy. So I meant to do 12 sets. Little bonus here, I've added on 5 kilos. So bonus set number 13, 117.5 kilos, or 259 pounds. And yeah, we are pretty much perfect rep there. Yep, lovely. Okay, so I thought, okay, we're going to go higher. Last week I went up to 265 pounds. So now we're 122.5 kilos, or 270 pounds. So to do this in a fatigue state after doing 12 sets at 248, really pleased with this. And was this perfect? Almost. Yes, feet a little forward. But yeah, really pleased with that as well. To do that with good form, almost good form, in a fatigue state. Probably could have gone higher, but I was happy with that. It was an improvement on what I did last week. So yeah, 14 good sets, really good reps. Axle overhead is slowly coming along now. I'd really like to get to 300 pounds on axle at some point, end of this block or a couple of blocks down the line. I've never done 300. I've done 300 on a log. I've done over 300 on a log, but I've never done 300 on an axle. So I'd really like to do that. Now moving on to the Spoto Press. I don't really like Spoto Press, to be honest. It is harder than a regular bench for starters, and also with this you don't quite touch the chest. You stop about an inch from the chest, but I can't see where I'm pressing, so I kind of have to guess it. I can't. Once I lower that bar, I actually can't quite tell how close that bar is to my chest. So I do. It is kind of like a little bit of guesswork there. But I'm happy with this. This was going along. First working set. The plan was to do 2 sets of 8. Normally a top set and then a back off set, but 220 for 8 felt quite comfortable. So I've increased now to £243 for 8 repetitions. And yeah, this was harder, but again, probably could have done a little bit more. I think next week I'll be dropping to 6s on these. So I have done 265 for 6, so I don't know if I'll probably repeat that next week, or maybe even do a shade more. Moving on now to a seated press behind the neck on the Smith machine. Little warm up now, 40 kilos for 6. And I wanted to see basically, because I do, on one day I do the Smith machine shoulder press to the front. So I wanted to see whether I could do more weight behind the back or in front. And I think press behind the neck, I think it is harder. You can't quite use enough load. When I did the first pressing session, which was shoulder press to the front, I worked up to £171 for 12 reps with about a rep or two in the tank. And this is 165 for 10, so it's slightly less weight for 10. And this was quite hard, so I think I'm stronger in the front position. But I like to do both. Both are good, both are important. So for shoulders, I'll do press behind the neck on one day and then press to the front on the other day, and then hopefully I'll cover both my bases for shoulders. Now here's a little tricep exercise I like to do. Swiss bar tricep extensions behind the neck. The Swiss bar itself weighs 17 kilos, which is about £37. So that was 60 as a warm up. So plan was to do 2 sets of 10. So this is 37 kilos or £82. 10 repetitions. This was actually quite easy. So I elected to go higher up in weight. So yeah, it's all coming along nicely at the moment. But yeah, one of the takeaways for this episode is when you're doing overhead, remember it is skill mainly, just not just strength. So always try and make sure that your repetitions are all the same. Don't just think because it's light that you can muscle it up. I mean, you can do, but I really always try to do my best to keep all reps the same. Afterwards, for shoulder stability, I did dumbbell wheel delt days, 2 sets of 12 with 18 and 22 pound dumbbells respectively, but I didn't film that. So that was the end of the session. So yeah, really pleased with what I did today. It was nice to get a 270 axle overhead after doing all them sets. So next week on the axle I'll be doing every other minute, and again we'll be using more load, probably going to about the £260 area, something like that, I'm not sure yet. Okay, so coming to the end of the video now. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. On the next training session we're going to be doing the Romanian deadlifts again. Looking forward to doing that as well. So yep, I'm going to sign off now. Again, thank you very much for watching, and next training session will probably be Sunday, so join me then.